Knock, knock. Who's there? Judge Aileen. Judge Aileen who? Judge Aileen over and you kiss my ass, America.
Trump is the new Adolf.
Judge Aileen Cannon. Actually, you know what? Judge Aileen Cannon. That sounds better, right? Seen here in her official portrait, staring lifelessly, soullessly, at what I can only believe is the stacks of dollars the Federalist Society has sent her in her undying quest to shelter Donald Trump from any kind of ramifications for his actions. She might have actually went a little too far this time. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Well, maybe watch the video first. Maybe you won't like it, and then you won't want to subscribe. So I guess watch the video, and then like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Out of Trump's 91 indictments, the slam dunk one, the easiest one to prove, case closed, is the classified docs. Trump stole classified docs and pretty much showed them off to everyone. An Australian billionaire, Mark Meadows' biographer, this duo of Boris and Boris, and pretty much anyone at Mar-a-Lago who had to go take a dump while they were there. And it becomes so obvious with just how crazy Judge Cannon's ruling was this week. What exactly she's trying to do. She actually proposed, unironically, that the jury needs to be able to read the highly classified documents. Judge Cannon, like every right-leaning judge in this era, has been bought off. Why lease when you can just buy him flat out? She will not recuse herself from this case, even though the defendant, the guy she's making these rulings for, picked her for a lifetime appointment that she can never get fired from. I mean, imagine that. A lifetime appointment and you can never get fired. Even if she got drunk at the company Christmas party, called Rebecca from accounting, she couldn't even get fired for that. Trump appointed her. That means she's been a judge for 3 years. Only 3 years. And she's about to decide on a case that's going to define our 250-year-old republic going forward. Judge Cannon wants to take this country's top secrets. The reason Snowden fled the country. The reason Chelsea Manning went to jail. The reason countless others have had to go to prison for. She wants to take those documents and show them to a jury, a bunch of randos chosen to decide this case. I honestly hope the long con of what she's doing isn't that the jury gets to read this classified material. She points to them and says, see, it could be that bad. A bunch of randos are reading it now. Case dismissed. Trump is king. Where's my money? Much more probability, and exactly what Trump's nominated Supreme Court, who also won't recuse themselves, it's just character all the way down in this Republican Party. The most likely scenario is she's trying to run out the clock. Jack Smith will undoubtedly appeal to get this moved to another court, another circuit, citing that age-old statute that the current judge is batshit crazy, and just like the Supreme Court, that will push the decision after the election. The transparency of this corruption, it's so indicative of a lack of consequences for this judiciary branch of the government. And while this dog and pony show's going on, his lawyers are arguing in the other case, no, not the one that found him guilty of rape, not the one that found him trying to cook the books in the Georgia election, find me 8,000 votes, not the one where he defrauded New Yorkers out of $500 million. No, not that one. All these are just witch hunts. All of it is just big misunderstandings. Wrong time, wrong place. Donnie Dipshit is the most pious, innocent soul in the world. I mean, if you talk to chuds, they will tell you that all of this is fake. None of these 91-2 indictments are real. The case I'm referring to is the January 6th attempted coup. This is what his lawyers are arguing. The consequences of this court's holding on presidential immunity are not confined to President Trump. If immunity is not recognized, every future president will be forced to grapple with the prospect of possibly being criminally prosecuted after leaving office every time he or she makes a political controversial decision. It just breaks your heart to think that a president could be held liable. That would be the end of the presidency as we know it and would irreparably damage our republic. That's what his lawyers wrote. To give a single branch of government that much power, that unchecked power from either the other branches or us, to be honest, that is what would mark the end of American democracy. That's what would mark the end of our republic. Trump and his lawyers are no longer mincing their words. They're not doing the dance. They're literally asking that a president of the United States can be an authoritarian. And this criminal snowflake president and any other criminal snowflake presidents coming in the future should all be confronted with the prospect that if they use that office to be a criminal, to commit crimes against the American public, to attack our institutions, that they can be prosecuted for it. And make no mistake about it, this persecution complex that him and his lawyers are painting, where a president has to make tough decisions, it has nothing to do with what he's on trial for. We're not trying him because he dropped a bomb on a bunch of people in the Middle East. We're not trying him for his response to a pandemic. We're not even trying him for his 12th hour signing of our withdrawal from Afghanistan. Yeah, you remember when the Chuds feigned all that outrage for how we left Afghanistan? Oh, those poor people, all our equipment. It turns out Trump did that just so you could use that propaganda. The circle of life, the circle.
I'm sure they're going to get asked about the argument they made in the lower court about how Donald Trump could do whatever he wanted, use SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival, and couldn't be prosecuted for it unless Congress impeached and convicted him.
This is real life.
Sure,
that we're
or the
living,
judges
by the
could
way.
come up with their very own hypotheticals.
Yeah.
That was a hypothetical that was floated sort of by the federal appeals court judges there, but I'm sure that's something that they could press them on. Where are the outer bounds of this? And, basically the argument that Trump is making is that the only way that prosecution comes into play is if first he is convicted by the Senate, which, is a really high bar, as we saw in
Impeachment
the
judgment
aftermath.
clause.
Hold on. The argument that Trump could only be criminally convicted if he was impeached first are from the exact same people while he was being impeached that breathlessly told you impeachment has nothing to do with a criminal trial. It's a political process, they kept saying. And honestly, this is why there's no point in having a political discussion with someone that identifies as a Republican in the year 2024. Their views, even the ones they seem passionate about, are so malleable. And depending on what talking point they're using in that particular moment, can change drastically. Something 100% true to a Republican in the morning can be 100% false in the afternoon. Merrick Garland is summed up perfectly by an old Texas saying. Merrick Garland is as worthless as tits on a bull. All these Republican judges, from the bottom courts right up to the Supreme Court, are all playing games. And this Federalist Society darling is running around picking Trump-appointed investigators, Trump-appointed judges to go after Biden. Best case scenario, he's trying to seem impartial, I guess. He's trying to seem impartial in this world where Judge QAnon wants the jury to read classified information. He's trying to seem impartial in this world where Clarence Thomas takes millions, hundreds of millions of dollars from billionaires instead of breaking his back for a party devoid of character. Maybe he could start doing his job and go after America's most wanted criminal. If it's your first time here, you like the episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you've been here a while, I'm doing an okay job. You want to support the channel a little more, you can become a member. Anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching the Chud Report.
Oh, there's a lot at stake. I mean, not just in terms of what it means for this election. I mean, obviously, if the Supreme Court comes back with what we expect and say you don't have absolute immunity, then potentially this trial will proceed. but it has a huge deal of at stake if they come back and say there is such thing as unlimited immunity. I don't see how the presidency and frankly how democracy can continue if you have a bad actor in place that literally can get away with anything so long as he or she has the title of president in front of their name.